wisdom. For today's episode, we are going to talk about the importance and tips on how to build a good family relationship. Before we begin, my name is Windy Danang.
I am Mika Bagto.
I am Charma Changal.
I am Akisha K.L. Ramos.
And we will be your hosts for today. So, tatanungin ko kayo, how's your relationship with your family?
For me, my family and I experience a lot of ups and downs. Sometimes I fight with my siblings and sometimes I fight with my parents.
Well, my family is the same with Mika. Siyempre, hindi naman may iwasan na magkaroon talaga ng problema ang bawat pamilya. But at the end of the day, we still chose to resolve that problem and be together as a family.
And my family is quite doing well. How about you, Winnie?
Well, my relationship with my family is great. Tatanungin ko kayo ulit. If you're having a fight with your family, how do you handle it?
Well, by communicating with my parents. Because communication has a big role on having a good relationship with a family. For example, me and my mother. Me and my mother always fight a lot. And the worst thing is that we didn't spoke for 1 week. And all I did was I say sorry to her.
I think trust has a big impact on communication. Because when you trust someone, you can freely express your thoughts and opinions with them without feeling their judgment. For instance, when parents and their children think they have a good relationship, like they're honest with each other like that, but when parents suddenly find out that their child is doing bad things like vaping like that or skipping classes, it causes conflict among each other.
Speaking of conflict, when we have conflict with our families, we need to think of other solution. Just like the story I read on the internet. There was a father and a son. The son always just play video games and he doesn't do his homeworks. And his father found out. So, para nakain yung father ng emotion niya, and what he did was, he just shouted at his son and confiscated his video games, which only made things worse. So, he thought of an alternative or a better solution. So, he thought that showing empathy and being gentle with his son will be a great solution. So, yes, it solved the problem and he made his son feel like he understands him, that he'll always be there for him no matter what, instead of shouting or just getting mad at him. And when we resolve our conflicts, we also need to be an active listener. We need to listen to each other's opinions and we need to respect them. And also, we have our different perspectives. That's why we need to balance and understand it also. And how about you, Windy, as an only child? How does your parents resolve their conflicts with you, or what do you notice when they speak with you?
I notice how my parents deal with conflicts with me. I see that they show me empathy when we are having conflicts. They try to understand my feelings or understand my side and talk to me gently. They don't shout at me because I think shouting at your children when having a fight is only causing the problem to get bigger.
So now that we talked about the four important things to build a good relationship with family, we have the communication, we have the trust, conflict resolution, or the solution to problems, and we have the empathy. So we understand now why is it important, and I hope that you guys, when you have a family someday, sana you will learn by this, and you will also parang i-apply nyo sa kanila to be able to have a good family.
Hello and welcome back to our podcast. I am Lady Lizelle B. Lazaro, and I wasn't able to join the first part of this discussion due to a conflict of a schedule. Today, we have a special guest here with us, and her name is Miss Kimberly Vinduan, and she will help us understand deeper about our topic of family relationships. Miss Kimberly Vinduan, I have prepared some few questions for you to answer, but before we begin, I would like to ask you, how are you today?
I'm good, and thank you for inviting me as your guest. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Okay, so let us begin. For our first question, what relationship do you have with your family?
I have a strong relationship with them. We rely on each other para tulungan at suportahan ang isa't isa.
That is wonderful. So, what ups and downs do you experience within your family members?
For us, every time one of our family member have achievement, we gather together to celebrate. Like for example, during my graduation day, we all know that graduation is the most awaited event in our life. So, all of my family member go here to celebrate with us. But, of course, my family is not perfect. We have misunderstandings, especially with my siblings because of our age gap. May gusto sila na hindi ko gusto, and the misunderstanding starts there. And other thing is, I saw my parents struggle to earn for living. However, para masolusyonan to, pinag-uusapan namin agad at nagtutulungan kami para ma-provide ang mga kailangan namin. Also, dahil graduate na din ako, tumutulong ako financially sa parents ko and sa mga kapatid ko.
So, with those downs that you experience within your family, how do you find a solution to strengthen your relationship with your family?
During weekends, we go out and spend together.
And for our last question, we have, do you have any advice for families to strengthen their relationship? And yung mga advice sa mga magkakaroon ng family in the future?
I think the best advice that I can give and I know is the most important is to have an open communication. Para maintindihan nyo ang isa't isa at maintindihan nyo kung ano ang nararamdaman ng isa't isa. And also, based on my experience to solve this problem, always pray and ask for guidance and help of God.
Thank you for your wonderful answers. I hope we learned a lot from you today, and I hope that you also guys learned a lot from this podcast. Once again, I am Lady Lizelle B. Lazaro, and she is our guest, Miss Kimberly Vinduan.
Thank you guys for watching this video.
Thank you guys for 1 million hearts and supports.
We greatly appreciate it.
Bye!